Yeah, a real good start to the season last year for Merrill.
222 with 11 home runs. He's already. First pitch swing and his bounce to first base. Christian Walker calls off Merrill Kelly. 1 pitch, 1 out for big leagues. Twice an All-Star with the Cubs. Field backing up near the fence is Ketel Marte and Wilson Contreras, and the Cubs strike first.
One's not going to beat us. Pitch appeared to be off the plate from Merrill Kelly. Not a bad location. Just even see Steven out of here to right field.
Would be here with the Cubs in this camp. Walker with the overshift on the other side. Camps out under that one.
Baez got hit by a pitch on his right forearm. A couple
kind of stuff. And that wasn't allowed last year, and it really caused some slumps across baseball. Merrill bounces back.
With Christian Walker cleaning up at first base as Drupal Cabrera, the Cy Young winner back in 2015 when he went 22 and
bounce back here. And he's in there against Josh Rojas, who continues his hot spring. Rojas a line drive.
So far this spring, and you mentioned he's off to a great start offense. One of those jobs by the horns. Ketel may find himself at one position, but so far this spring he's been moved around. Being a key member of this offense, I mean, obviously the numbers jumps on his shoulders and rides along.
Infield fly is called as Rizzo collects that one, and that's the first out.
In the lineup, try to get the guys in front of him out. I mean, he would.
Ortega near the wall. He's got it on the track. Here comes Rowe, and he's into third. And is Drupal Cabrera now in his 15th major league season. Stepping over toward left center field. He's got it. And Jake Arrieta strands 2 in his first inning back with the Cubs.
Do you notice a difference?
I think the jury is still out.
Yeah.
Games, our games and other games noticed anything. There's a little dribble at first and Walker collects. Or the current guy with the 3 rings.
Both going to make 32 or 33 starts this year anyway, so.
Slaps that one just by Merrill. Josh Van Meter has it at second. 2 up, 2 down. It's in the Padres a couple of years ago. That's when we last saw him. Surgery was a big relief for Merrill Kelly, and he has looked terrific so far. 3 ground ball out here. Wild stuff. We have a Goose is in center field.
Strikes from center field.
Thankfully, it's Goose. Martini on the warning track, shaken, not stirred. Acquired last year from the Reds in the Archie Bradley deal. Archie steered. There's a tap around to the mound. Arrieta, former Gold Glovers on that one. And that's spring.
Well, the first Diamondback run this spring was
but he appears to be back on track this spring. A hard hit to short for Baez. No throw. Ketel's going to keep his distance, calls off Fairchild, and luckily for Ketel, that drifts over to left center. Gallen, you add a healthy and effective Merrill Kelly. So
they're 5th in the rotation because you're going to match up against the other team's 4th or 5th pitcher rather than be the guy that starts opening.
With Torey Lovello. That one gets through Stephen Vogt. Amaya goes up to second base. Torey, I remember
on the location, he can spin a breaking ball, put it wherever he wants. He's able to follow a game plan, and there's a gift to that.
Rizzo has just enough to get it over the head of Trace Thompson.
I think this is his 3rd up down right now. You could just see that pitch was mislocated. It was a little up, and a good hitter does continue to build that endurance and that strength.
I know fans are result-oriented, players may be, but coaches aren't necessarily. Or speech to the team. Are you ready to shock the Cubs home run in the first? And that's ball 4. Bob asked me a great question.
Not enough as a feel for it yet. The pitchers haven't made.
Along the right field line. And he's got it in fair territory. Contreras holds at first base.
We're guessing. There's a process. We talk about it.
Live from the dugout. 0-2 now on Javi Baez. That's a fair ball and a diving stop by Drupal.
The ball gets down in the left field corner and rattles around it all. Contreras are league players available that you normally.
Well, that'll help. Hayward can't check. Merrill gets the now stake to a 3-0 lead. Bradley deal, and he's in the outfield mix. And there's a leadoff walk. Fairchild on the move. Slides into second, pops up and heads for third. Rojas continues his torrid sprint.
With Fairchild on the move at first base, you could see Baez coming.
Ketel. Those MVP level. They have something cooking. Rojas was on the move. Fairchild scores. John
got a good pitch to hit inside part of the plate and takes advantage of holding on Rojas. That one gets through into right field for 20 pounds. He looks much better this year.
2 years old in the final season of his contract. Laid off the high one there just in time for the umpire down there at third.
Able to check this time. His instincts almost took over there. That's a high.
2 on, no out, a run in. That one is laced fair down the line. Tony Perez-Chica going to send Cattell home. Eduardo Escobar. Hey, is in there in the third, and the batter is Christian Walker. He's in. Escobar at third, and he is going to have to stay there. And the whole idea is behind that.
They really do. I mean, they understand.
Confusion about spring training. It's about the tickets.
Increased ticket pricing here or for the regular season because of obviously because of COVID. And what has happened is
they're out there on the grass, and we know there's a little bit of room still.
See these numbers go down, and we can third, fourth month whenever we can.
Martini flies out to right field. There's out number 1 in the fourth. That's interesting.
Office also worked with AZDHS and with Maricopa. Mike Hazen. There's a reunion of the 2001 team that Bob had a little bit to do with as well.
They sure do.
As to Joaquin Soria, who might be the new closer this year, with that big double play to win the top of the fourth, and now Cabrera.
Lineup and veteran players available off the bench just because.
Ross as well. Vogt gets into one, hits it out, and gone to right field. Stephen Vogt is first to the. I think Stephen Vogt is anxious to show this year.
Home run to right field. Gets a fastball in the inside corner of the plate. Nice, quick, abbreviated swing. Get the out there and right.
I mentioned, and only because of the injury to Cole Calhoun, where there's a defense in his third big league season, his first full season with the Diamondbacks, as Bryant is there, the only guy on that side of the infield. That's out. We're just going to go with the old-fashioned pitching change here. Dangerous, Trace Thompson. Guy, but if you're hitting a $180 at the All-Star break, then we're going to have a conversation. Thompson grounds out. A nice scoop there at first.
Job at the major league level. Do you want him to sit the
one? Fairchild. Good battling for the center field job. That's under the glove of Baez at shortstop
there, and instead of play a few steps to
and here, and you go there. Rojas hits it hard, but into Horner, who is back there in the outfield grass. Is in the bullpen. And the veteran right-hander, Miguel Amaya, the DH. It's center, and Trace Thompson is there. Now here are all.
That's the reality of Major League Baseball, especially when the
news to the media. He said, "Look, I can pitch a lot. That's one thing I bring to the table." As Davinsky gets the strikeout,
he knew that there were going to be times when we need
minor league pitcher of the year from 2 seasons ago. Ryan Gorman says no. Contreras is second base on ball. And I think that's the great unknown there, because they took on the money for Blake Snell. The Tampa Bay wanted to move. They took on the Darvish money. The Cubs wanted to move.
It's very much like the Cubs and the Brewers for a long time. When the
MLB.com. Along with Nick Picoro sitting front row with their masks on. Davinsky not too long ago in Boston. Cattell was 6 for 10 so far this blue sky. Geesey, it backs up Martini, and it's off the wall. Cattell continues his red-hot spring. A walk, a single, and now hit it out toward the Geese.
Another breaking ball that was called a strike early.
D-backs then took the lead in the fourth on a 2-run holding for Cattell. Breaking ball is in there, and he knew it.
It's the first strikeout in the game for a Diamond.
Or something that Torlovello talks about all the time. And Workman gets his second consecutive strikeout. D. And he gets into one and hits it hard out to right field, but Hayward the goal. And they strand that leadoff double. We've played 5, and it's 5. Tremendous sinker. 14th round pick, and he threw 126 innings and gave up. Josh Green, nice athletic play right there, and he gets the first out. You really did put in a lot of extra work this winter, didn't you?
Yeah, just the feeling that I have in my work every morning and on the field.
Geraldo Perdomo, there's shortstop, and a nice scoop there by Wyatt Mathis. You know, your whole family was really, really cautious, and I think it's a...
And, you know, we've really learned that we got to not let, you know, the baseball side suffer because...
Diamondbacks lead the Cubs 5-3. Diamondback now facing his whole team.
At Wrigley Field.
Well, the second, he's on deck. And Chafin comes on with that slider, gets the strikeout. A moss grow out a little bit.
Yeah, that pandemic do. That happened to or maybe are in competition for a job. You want to get them an extra at bat, so maybe they play 9 innings in a day. Innings. So we started to split it up. The ballparks they were playing at in the minor leagues.
Well, Andrew Chafin, the former Diamondback, comes in and 3 in the bottom of the third, tied it on a 2-run triple. Aviatal Avelino. And looked terrific in the league championship series, and that one came to eat.
Yes, it did. Right in on the, you get a lot of ground balls, and you also get a lot of these little.
A-ball and double-A, 11-5 in 22 starts. That one is by Matheson at first and headed for the... And he's got a stand-up double.
At first base today, got a hanging breaking ball.
Yeah, that's one thing with Josh Green. They'd like to see him not be so sinker ball dependent. At one point he was throwing a go in center field.
Just try to overthrow that sinker rather than getting the...
Higgins, who took over behind the plate. There's another one chopped into the ground. Ball's out there in foul ground. Hermosillo will stop at third, and they get the out at second as Higgins trying to stretch
second base. Nice throw.
His numbers with the Stockton Ports 2 years ago at high afternoon on Fox Sports Arizona against the Rockies. And Green gets the strikeout, strands that. Got a whole bunch of minor league guys behind him.
The show, that's one of the positions, whether it be a...
There's a strikeout. That's for Perdomo. You and I did last year, working at the alternates.
To be in the right place at the right time with the right...
Big, long legs, lanky strides. He covers a lot of ground. Runs. Classic Zach Greinke answer.
Sure.
Not all that happy, frankly, that he's playing in the American League. That's going to jam up the 10-10 dream.
A little bit last season, and I think maybe it took away from him.
Second consecutive inning that we've had a Cub.
They got him on the back of the right.
He was good when he came on.
Man.
Toward the end of that season. There goes Miller.
Fortunately, just too big of a jump that time.
Baseman got the tag down. Boy, that's a terrific throw.
Ahead in the count. Force that hitter to protect the plate.
Missed with it that time. A hit, batter, and a walk. Stop for the Cubs. That the pitching staff may be the strong point, which is something new for the Rockies. And a terrific play there by Uniel, who gets 2 outs. Miller goes into third. Iracudo takes it himself.
Yeah, very nicely done right there. A slight shift, not an exaggerated pull shift, but both the and Iracudo went after that ball. There was nobody to cover second base, so Iracudo just takes it himself. Nice stretch there by Wyatt Matheson.
His numbers 2 years ago at the...
So we're anticipating college scholarships. Just really put a monkey wrench into everything.
And look at those numbers. 289, 26 homers, 103 RBIs in 120 games. And that's it's in the corner, and Beer pulls into second. It's a leadoff double.
Left-handed hitter. He loves that ball down and in, and that's right trophy they give to the best collegiate player. He won. One along the line in right. Miller over there in foul ground. Hang on.
grab, and Beer heads up play, tags and heads for third. Brian Moss points out that Miller made the catch and Beer tagged up. That's good directing right there. Has taken tremendous steps forward. And he's got a lot of tools. Punches that to third. Beer's got himself all hung up now. McCarthy heads for second, and Beer's tagged out. Bats and get these pitchers their innings. McCarthy in at third. He's back there, number 98. And they don't have that this year because of COVID. And Miller makes that catch in foul ground. A little more. Currently occupying a spot on the 40-man roster for
especially the way they were both throwing at that particular time. So
have the conversation. Was it you? Was it Mel? There's Perdomo from behind the bag.
It was a group.
Doubled and scored his first time up today, back in the 7th. Kudos under it, 2 outs. You know, Castellanos is a guy for Hermosillo. Castellanos throwing strikes. You know what? We're just going to go home. So that's fine.